All right, everybody here? If you're not here, raise your hand. Okay, you're all here. Good. All right, thank you very much for coming to Career Day, and thank you for having me here. My name is Spencer Suderman, and I am a pilot, and specifically I'm an air show pilot. So I fly in air shows. I fly this cool little red airplane, and my job is to entertain everybody when you come to the show. Has anyone ever been to an air show and watched airplanes flipping around in the sky?
I saw a helicopter.
Saw a helicopter flip around?
Yeah.
Was it the Red Bull helicopter?
Huh?
It said Red Bull on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that helicopter is parked around the corner for me at my airport. And I know the guy who flies it. And let me tell you, he's crazier than me. I'm just kidding. The only thing about helicopters, airplanes, the propeller is screwed right to the end of the engine. Right? So there's really not a lot of moving parts. But a helicopter has all these little moving parts, all these little linkages and connections and screws and nuts and bolts, and they all need to stay moving for it to stay flying. So I think they're a little bit scary. But hey, people think I'm crazy. But I know people who get outside on the wing of the airplane, right? Wing walkers. Ever seen a wing walker? Yeah. See, at least I stay inside the airplane. So it's all about different levels of craziness. But anyway, so let's talk. We'll have a question and answer at the end. So if you guys could hold your questions, I can get through the presentation, get all the information out to you about how to become a pilot, and then we'll have questions at the end, okay? Cool. So first, let me show you a quick video that shows you what I do, and I think it'll help you understand a bit better here. One second. Okay, quick video and then we'll close. All right, who's dizzy? Because I am.
I'm tired. I am. Everybody look at me.
I am not.
Okay. So, how do you become a pilot? Right? It takes education, it takes focus, and it takes discipline. So I know you all wanted to hear that you could quit school now and start flying airplanes and it's all good. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen that way. You need to learn a lot. You need to learn a lot about math. Because everything we do in flying, not the actual flying the airplane, but all the preparation and flight planning takes math. I'll give you an example. I know that I can go 100 miles an hour, and I want to go to an airport that's 200 miles away because I want to get lunch there. I heard they had good hamburgers. So if I know I go 100 miles an hour at an airport that's 200 miles away, how long is it going to take me to get there?
2 hours.
Perfect. Perfect example of math. Now let's add another complication to that. I can only carry an hour and a half worth of fuel on my airplane. Go 100 miles an hour, but I burn 10 gallons an hour. I've only got 15 gallons. So do I have to stop for gas?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's part of solving problems and making decisions. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than running out of gas while you're flying. It's not like in a car, you can't just roll over the side of the freeway. You're going to fall out of the sky. Right? So a lot of math involved, and all your flight planning is all about math. calculating how fast you go, where the wind's blowing, how that affects your speed. So there's a lot of education involved here. A lot of problem solving, right? How do I make an effective path to go somewhere? But what if there's a mountain in the way? I have to fly around it. I might have to go to another airport and stop and get gas and then fly to where the hamburgers are. Make sense? So education's important. So I'm going to show you another. Sorry? In a what? No, I think you're good right there.
I think
So let me show you a quick video on talking about problem solving and decision making. So when you're ready to fly, you're going to get your airplane with an instructor like me, and you're going to sit here. And this is an
Keep your head on the
assessment.
swivel, keep your eyes open, always looking for traffic. You have some down there, traffic low, passing behind, beneath the wing behind us, no factor. Before we begin any aerobatic maneuvers or any practice maneuvers, we must clear the area. My preference is to begin a clearing turn to the left. Why do I turn to the left? If there's an airplane behind me, his intention is to overtake. He's going to do it on my right side. If I begin my clearing turn to the right, I stand a good chance of flying into his flight path. This is a high-wing airplane, so we lift the wing and look left. And we execute a shallow turn to the left, looking for traffic.
Okay, make sense? Right, so there's a perfect example of making good decisions in the airplane. You have to learn the rules, and one of the rules is you always pass, if you're coming up behind another airplane, you always pass them on the right side. Right? You don't want to pass them on the left. So when I go out to the practice area with a student to teach him, and we want to clear the area, meaning we want to fly around in a circle and look for other airplanes so we don't run into them, we always want to turn to the left first. Because there's a plane behind me, I'm expecting him to pass me on the right, he's expecting to pass me on the right. There's a guy behind me and I make that turn to the left, I'm sorry, to the right, he's going to fly right into me, crash. Those don't end well either. It's not as easy in a car like we pull over and exchange insurance information and get a tow truck. Much worse. So let me show you another quick video of a young lady taking flying instruction. This is her first flight in the plane, and she's getting the controls for the first time. Now the audio is not very good, but watch the expression on her face when she gets handed the flight controls. Look at that. Notice I'm not touching them, right? Now I'm teaching her how to turn the airplane. I'm telling her to pull back a little bit on the control stick, help turn the plane. So this is what it'll be like for you when you take flying lessons and become a pilot. You'll be sitting next to an instructor in an airplane, and they give you the airplane and go, here, you fly. Hear that? Yay! Okay, let's go back to our presentation real quick. So, right, we talked about education. There's a student sitting in a classroom learning how to fly from me, and I'm using a little model to explain about the flight controls to him. And of course, there's a big whiteboard, and we spend a lot of time drawing things on the whiteboard. Okay, so let's talk about the education you need to be a pilot. It all starts with a 4-year college degree. Almost any way you do this, you need that. So you can go to an aviation college. There are colleges that are specifically designed to give you the educational experience and a degree in some area of aviation, as well as the flight experience. There's a school in Florida, one in Arizona called Embry-Riddle, and they will give you the flight training, and when you graduate, you have a 4-year degree and you're a flight instructor, and you can go to work teaching flying right away. You'll need a few more hours, probably a few hundred hours or hundreds of hours to become a commercial pilot and fly like a Southwest jet. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way is to go to a 4-year college and join the military. And with your college degree and join the military, they'll teach you how to fly fighter planes or large transport planes. And then typically when your military career is over, then you'll go out into the world and become a commercial pilot, or maybe you'll fly corporate jets, which are fun too. And the other way, and this is the way I did it, is I went to a 4-year college, I got a degree, and had nothing to do with aviation. And then I went to a flight school at a local airport, learned how to fly, got all my ratings, and then ultimately learned how to fly this cool airplane, which you can't really learn at a flight school. So I learned from other airshow pilots how to fly this cool airplane. Yeah. So we'll get to questions in just a second, okay, I promise. So that's how you become a pilot. But the most fun, of course, to me is flying air shows, flying this cool airplane and entertaining everybody. Let's talk about focus, right? What is focus? Focus is when you pay attention to something and you concentrate on it. Like when you have a test and you're studying that subject because you want to do well in the test, you are focused on that subject. Well, you have to do the same thing when you're flying. And I have a video that I think shows focus really well. And I will tell you in this video that I am highly focused on what I'm doing. So before I start, this is at an air show. I'm 100 feet above the ground, flying down the runway. I just finished my aerobatic sequence, and I'm doing what they call photo pass. I'm going to fly in front of the crowd and kind of show off and go, hey, take my picture. So watch what I do next. And tell me if you don't think I'm focused here. Kind of weird thing around above it. So when you're that low and you're upside down, there's a lot of pressure on the stick because the plane's all trimmed and it's flying nice and level by itself. When you roll over, there's force on the stick. You've got to focus on keeping the stick in the right spot because the plane wants to dive into the ground. And at 100 feet, it's going to go like that. So you have to focus on what you're doing at that moment in time. Make sense? Just like you'd focus on studying for a specific subject in the test. All right, let's come back to our presentation. And in addition we talk about education of focus, we have discipline. So what is discipline? Now, most of you probably think discipline is when you get in trouble and you're sent to your room and grounded, right? Discipline is when you behave a certain way because there's rules that tell you how to behave. So in flying, and you saw at the beginning, the rule about a plane always passing you on the right side, right? That's a certain discipline in flying that says if you're going to pass somebody, always do it on their right side because it's a set of rules that we've agreed to work under. So I'm going to show you a video that gives you an idea of the discipline piece.
As we fly out towards the practice area, we'll work on Dutch rolls. We're going to roll the plane side to side, keeping the nose on point. It's an excellent exercise to practice eye-hand coordination. So we start with shallow amounts of bank, gradually increasing, keeping the nose on point, generous use of rudder.
So there's the rule, keep the nose on
the
the
whole
same
idea
point
is to be
while
looking
learning
over
to
the
roll the
nose, keeping the
airplane
nose on
control.
point, and roll the plane side to side, increasing the bank till we get to the point where we're knife edge to knife edge. 90 degrees of bank.
Right, knife edge is like
Lots
this.
of rudder. It doesn't need to be done fast. It just needs to be done accurately.
So this is a discipline. And the discipline is, the rule we're working under is keep the nose, as you look over the nose of the airplane, keep it on a point on the mountain and learn to roll it side to side using all the flight controls. You're using the stick this way, and you're stepping on the rudder pedals, and you're keeping the nose on point while you roll it. If you don't do anything, if you just roll the airplane, it's going to wander all over like this. Right? So this is a disciplined training exercise we're doing. Everyone get it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go back to our presentation. Okay, so what's a day like at the office for an air show pilot? Well, you might give a TV interview, you might sign a few autographs, and then the fun starts. So let me show you what it looks like in my office when I get in my office. So here's from my helmet cam, right? Camera on my helmet. Here's what I see when I'm flying in the actual air show. Hold on a second, let me go nicely. Okay. I have my little cheat card here, that's how I know what maneuver comes next. Right now. This is what you'll see when you're flying the airplane in the air show. Going dizzy yet? under 1,000, about 800 feet right there when I pulled out of that maneuver. All right, I think that's good. You guys get the idea, right? Okay, so questions? Yes.
Are there any airports local here in Santa Clarita, or?
You know, we do have a small airport called Agua Dulce off the 14 near Vasquez Rocks. It's a real tiny airport. There's not many airplanes based there, and they have a restaurant. People go there for hamburgers. The closest big airports you can see really cool airplanes are Van Nuys, Whiteman, and I keep my airplane in Camarillo. I think that's the coolest airport, but it's my airport. Yes.
How'd you get the airplane?
How'd I get it? Well, I gave a guy a bunch of money for it. So I bought the airplane, and it didn't look like this when I bought it. It looked completely different, and over the years I've been able to put a really cool paint job on it, put more horsepower in the engine, and do things to make it a really cool show airplane. Yes?
Do you fly any different planes? Or just that?
I do. I fly in Cessnas. I give people flight instruction in Cessnas. Sometimes I fly in people's own airplanes, and it could be Bonanza, Piper, it could be any number of airplanes. Yes?
How long do you have to be to fly in the airplane?
How old do you have to be to fly in my airplane? It's not really a matter of age, it's a question of size. So in my airplane, you have to wear a parachute, and there's a 5-point harness, so you have to be big enough to be safely strapped in, and you are not big enough. Yes?
Are the spurs on the back of your wings just below?
Spurt me these little things? I'll tell you what these are for. When you do, you noticed in the video, you saw me turn and look out towards the end of the wing, right, in the helmet cam. So what I'm looking at is with these little stars, they help me figure out my attitude. And I've been told I have a very bad attitude. But in the airplane, when I want to go vertical, I pull the airplane up like this, and I look at this little star, and the little horizontal line, I put it right on the horizon, and I know I'm going straight up. So that's what they're for. It helps you position yourself. Yes?
How many years have you been flying?
How many years? I've been flying, let's see. I actually started flying in college, and I got my pilot's license in 1997. And from there, I got my private pilot's license and a commercial pilot's license and an instrument rating and my instructor's license. And then I got this airplane and started teaching it. So I've been flying really since 1984 when I first took my first lesson. Sorry, 1986 when I took my first lesson. Yes.
Is it scary when you're up in the air and then you see the floor and then like...
See the ground? Yeah, I don't know, because it scares me so much. I usually close my eyes because I don't want to see anything bad happen. I'm kidding, I don't close my eyes. All right, any other questions? Yes?
What air shows do you perform in?
So let's see, this year I did the El Centro Air Show, which is near San Diego, El Centro Naval Air Facility, El Centro. I will also be in Santa Rosa, California in August, and Lake Tahoe. Apple Valley is having a show in October. I'll be at that one. I've got one or two others that may come in July that aren't confirmed yet, so I can't talk about them. I've also flown the Point Mugu Air Show, which is the closest air show we have. They only have that one every 2 or 3 years. They did that last year, and I flew in that one. So schedule varies year to year. Just depends on how far I'm willing to travel with the airplane. This airplane is very small. There's not a lot of room for luggage. Doesn't hold a lot of fuel. So the farther you fly, the harder the flight is, and it has no interior. So I'm actually sitting on an aluminum pan on a single cushion. That's it. And my back cushion is my parachute. So it's really uncomfortable to fly long distances. So, and you can't charge them anymore. So it's a business decision. So I don't want to go too far because it costs money to fly the airplane. It burns gas. There's maintenance. So you want to balance that out. Yes?
What type of plane is yours?
So this is a Pitts special, and the person who developed it or designed it was named Curtis Pitts. He built the first one, it's a little tiny one, it was a single seat, mine's a 2-seater, in 1946. And this airplane has evolved over the years. It hasn't changed a whole lot, it basically looks the same. It's gotten a little bit bigger, they're putting bigger engines on it, it's a little bit stronger, but it's basically the same airplane that's been around. You know why? Because it works. It's a very simply built airplane, and it's designed to do one thing, have fun. Yes?
Where is the plugs when you see an air show?
If there's jets flying, some people like to put earplugs in because when the jets are flying, they can be very loud, they can hurt your ears. Usually when a propeller plane like this is flying, it's not that loud, you don't need to wear earphones or a headset.
Will you be on any TV shows or anything?
You know, I get on TV shows from time to time. They call me and want me to do a
May I
fly.
have your attention, please?
There's nothing coming
This
up
is now
soon.
the end of session 2. Please excuse students to go to session 3.
But if you go to my
Thank you.
website on that card, there's some videos from TV shows I've been on. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming.
We're going to